Let's talk about something a bit more mundane. So, Nigeria is what it is, of course. You know, we can't do without our own power supply, and that's the generators and everything. This entry here on Instagram says, my neighbor's wife insisted all generators should be off by 11 p.m. We refused, and the landlord had to get involved and said, by 11 p.m., no gen must be on. That was the rule that was enforced. 15 months later, this woman gave birth and wants to run gen all night because of the baby. Omo, we all refused though.
They played my fans.
He paid you, oh my God. I put up everybody's gen at 12 o'clock, says this person. The gen house is even very close to my apartment, so I know they agree. So, how much sleep have you had in the past couple of weeks because of this whole noise pollution and all? I run the generator every evening. But I have a certain standard. I always put it up by 11 or midnight, and I do not like inconveniencing people because I hate the sound myself.
I'm very guilty for
running it all night.
For many years, I'm the kind of person that will run it whenever I can run it. And fortunately for me, where I live, there's a generator section that is far away from
the main house.
You're lucky.
Main houses.
Okay.
So for that, I've never really had that issue before. But I remember during, I think 2-3 years ago, I think during the COVID situation thing, there were a couple of robberies happening. And then they put out this memo in the
that everyone should
turn off
they
their
can
gen.
hear.
And me, I'm like, wait,
I can't live without it.
No, it's not like I can't live without it. I can, but when you have kids home, and they're used to certain things. I mean, we'll just stand up and be doing night vigil together. But so, I do understand that it can be a bit of an inconvenience because with all the noises coming from the different generator sets, many things can happen.
Yeah.
I eventually compromised then. I had to compromise. But after, I think, about 2-3 months, I went back to using it to,
nobody's going to fault you because, especially currently, the weather has been really bad.
It's
very hot. But here's a solution. What you need are the tiny gens for during the day. Or maybe even if you want to leave it on all night because they make less noise, which is a solution that I used to use from before. It works, you know. But, however, in this story, I just feel bad for the baby.
You guys don't want me to talk about lights, you know. So
you live in an estate that always has power now, don't you?
No, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? So so we have light, I know. but they usually shed the light around the evening period where we'll be without light for like maybe
a couple of good hours,
like maybe an hour-ish.
You are not in Nigeria.
I'm telling you, man.
He's not in Nigeria now. Who is this person?
This guy boasting like how we.
I said, who is this? Who is this somebody?
What are these guys talking about? Generators? What is a generator?
What is a generator?
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's affecting everybody. Okay. All right. But I think the problem that we have constantly is the fact that yes, because we do have light, but we don't have high voltage. We have very low voltage. So it's almost as though we don't have light. But yes, the light we can see with it and do stuff with it, but I can't use my AC.
Which way, Nigeria?
Stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
understand where you're coming from. Because there was a time where so I currently have a neighbor in front of my house who runs generators, whether or not there is light or not. In the case of low voltage,
he must be a Yahoo boy.
He was my brother. I have thought I thought about it that this guy.
What do you do for a living?
I don't even. What do you do? What do you do for a living?
You're at home every single day.
But the thing is, this guy would turn on the generator when they bring the light. This guy is still running gen. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Is he single?
He has
is
a
there
family.
He
has a family. He has a wife and I think 2 children or something like that. A dog.
You have to, part of the family.
Poor dog.
In line with this, Abia State's got 4 days of constant power now.
No, we need to give it to them. Come on, give it to them. Come
give
on,
it to them.
Well done.
I wasn't going to wait for 4 days because I remember time in this country whereby there was constant electricity.
Now that was first back in the 80s. Now
who's talking about first?
Wait, let me get straight.
I'm talking about.
Was that a real thing?
Huh?
In this
we
country,
actually had 24 hours in this country.
How old are you? Yeah.
Really?
Well, I would say 24 hours, but at least in a day you'd have
I remember
light.
when I got into secondary school.
Right.
That was the first time I started noticing power outages in Nigeria.
Did we grow up in the same town? Are you sure? Because
I went to the same secondary school.
It's very, very strange, man.
Yeah, no, because it was then I started noticing, and it was very strange. It was weird because I'm like, okay, today there's
in this country,
in the same country.
Wow.
In the same country. So it's
I'm
nothing.
so sorry.
It's not impossible.
What can we say has declined power supply in this country?
Simple
what
answer.
has cost it?
Thank you for taking
The
my job.
maintenance? I'm sorry.
By the way, no problem.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I think I have an answer to that.
Well, go on, let's hear it.
Bad policies.
Bad policies, huh?
Bad policies. You see.
Are we talking about Nigeria or Lagos now?
Nigeria.
We're talking about Nigeria as a whole.
Nigeria.
Generally,
yeah.
because
Policies.
Lagos has a different reason why it's the way it is.
Yeah, but bad policies, bad energy policies. You see, in this world, there's something that is very constant, change. And we have failed to evolve beyond,
Over time.
you know, what cavemen
Analog.
have been doing. You know, the demand for energy in Nigeria kept increasing over the years.
You have to ask yourself, why has there been that demand, especially in places like Lagos? Bad policies, it might, yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
But then again, we had, over the past 10 years, the influx of people into Lagos and the capacity that Lagos can
It's not
carry
just
alone
that. And that's
has
why
not been-
why the policies are very important. For instance, now, when I lived abroad, you know,
You live in where they have
Wait,
concert like that.
I'm
This
sorry.
man's
You
lived
lived
abroad.
You lived
sorry,
abroad.
Mama Bruno.
Please
So you lived
continue.
abroad?
Please
Okay,
continue.
sorry,
let me- you lived abroad.
let me
Are
not
you
talk about
serious?
it again.
Wow.
Before they come and cast me.
Please
But-
continue.
But my point is that, you see, when things are done the right way, like, it's like trying to use data on your devices, your mobile devices, on your smart screen TVs or whatever.
Right.
You should have something fixed. This home, this person has maybe 2 TVs.
Yeah.
This person has, you know, a laptop or whatever. It's fixed. And, you know, your consumption of data during that period is fixed or regulated, or it has its peak. You understand? So it's not just going to go like, okay, today all my neighbors are coming from...
So it's prorated. You have a
Yes,
specific
so
amount
it's-
every single
so
time.
you know
what
you're
using.
generating for that particular period.
Oh, you're talking about generation now.
I'm not talking like policies too for
Okay.
power generation. For instance, now.
So apparently, so apparently that data would help you to understand what you need to give
Provide,
or
exactly.
provide. Yeah.
And where you need to know, okay, you know what?
Now we need to expand.
Because you see, in this country, there are places that we know that are industrial.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
But now everything is just intertwined.
Here, there,
you go to
here,
residential neighborhoods, and then you find that there's this massive
Commercial,
industry
yeah.
there.
So I
that
was
they-
going to
you know,
touch
it
on that
makes
and
no-
say
no
this.
sense.
The reference I always make is to Amu Odofi, which a long stretch of it actually is industrial.
Industrial,
However,
yes.
it's now become residential. And then the residential areas, like I'll give you specific examples. 51 Road, or rather 51 Road in Festac used to be residential.
it's not-
But lining across now is
Zeno.
just, you know,
When you're,
Commercial
when you're
facilities.
flying
Nothing
out
guiding
of,
any of
when you're
these things.
flying
So,
out
yeah.
of Lagos, right? If you're flying out of Lagos and you look out the window, all right, you will not believe how much industries we have in Lagos.
we have a
Oh,
good
of
fair amount.
course.
Like once you go up like this and you just look out of the window, you see long
loads,
stretches
yeah,
of zinc, long
And
stretches
we're
of.
not
they
saying there's
do
anything
know.
wrong with that. We're just saying that
Yeah.
if for a reason you want to, you know,
Prorate power.
bring in new
Yeah,
things,
Okay.
there should be a policy.
It
and
should
a
be
provision.
commensurate with
Exactly.
what
like,
is on
okay,
ground.
you know what?
Yeah.
You can't have this type of industry here.
Right.
Exactly.
Go to this location. You understand? This is strictly the amount of power
Or
that we
you
can
go
generate here.
independent in terms of generation.
And
Yeah.
then if you have to go independent, there still needs to be a policy. Or you want to do solar, you want to do, wind type of power generation. There needs to be policies to guide all of these things.
I hear
I've
you. I
always
hear you.
been
I
of
hear
the
you,
thought
Olamide.
that in every part of Nigeria, power generation should be in silos.
Yeah,
Okay,
provide
we
your
know
own.
we know we have 1 million people in this location, and these are the type of people they are. This is what we're going to generate
Alright, so-
for them.